All right. Hi, this is Lucky Smith. Today is May 19th of 2012. I am reporting for Start Over News Magazine, and I'm here with Cassandra. Cassandra has she's an amazing person. We're going to hear her story right now. Cassandra, go ahead and grab the mics for her. Okay. Cassandra, can you tell us what day that everything happened so people can understand what's going on?
I don't know the exact date. I don't remember the exact date.
Okay.
But I can tell you the story. My daughter is gonna be 3 sometime in June. I want to say the date.
Okay.
And how it all happened, was
By the way,
yeah.
readers, this is because of the contents of the story. We have changed Cassandra's name, so that way she can stay anonymous. And as a past victim myself, I respect that. So, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so how I got pregnant was I was at the Glendale Mall one day, and I was parked in the parking lot kind of near an alley, but it was still in the parking lot in the garage.
Around what time was this?
I want to say about 2:33, maybe 4 at the latest.
In the afternoon.
In the afternoon, yeah. And I was just going there to get some sunglasses at Anchor Blue. And some guys walk into the elevator not thinking anything of it because, people are in the elevator all the time at malls and stuff with you. You don't think anybody's going to hurt you or anything like that. Not that you don't.
How old were you?
Let's see, I had my kid when I was 20. So, yeah, I was about 19 and a half, 20. So, anyways, these guys walk into the elevator, not thinking anything of it, as I said, and I didn't notice that they were walking behind me as I was going to my car. My dad was supposed to pick me up, but he didn't show, so I walked out of the parking lot where he said he was going to stay, and he was not there. But my mom's car was there because I took another car, just in case, because he has brain damage, just so everybody knows. And so I brought a car just in case, and I took the car because my dad wanted to give me a ride, but I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to take a car just in case. So my mom let me take her car. Didn't have a license at the time, hate to say it. But yeah, I took her car. I was going to take her car back home, but a couple guys were following me, and I had no idea. I really wasn't thinking that they were actually following me. Thought they were going to go to another car. But
So these guys were following you through the mall then?
I didn't even notice that they were actually following me through the mall. Like, I thought they were just normal people. Maybe they were following me through the mall,
In the Glendale, I've shopped there.
Yeah.
And you feel safe in that area.
You feel safe in any mall. Like, you don't really...
2, 3 in the afternoon is not like 2, 3 in the morning coming out of a nightclub.
Right, you really don't notice if people are following you in a mall. So, I was just walking out to my car. My dad wasn't there. I called him. He has hearing problems, back problems, da-da-da-da. And these guys were following me, and they grabbed me before I even got into my car. I was probably about 15, 20 feet away from my car. They grabbed me, twisted my arm, and said, "You scream, we kill you." And really...
What were you thinking when that happened, when you just saw them, and what was going through your mind?
Oh my gosh, my life flashed before my eyes. I'm like, I'm not going to scream as much as I want to scream. I'm not going to do it. I want to live. I want to live to see the next day. I want to see my family the next holiday. So I'm going to do whatever these stupid people want me to do.
And did you see the gun at that time? Or
They did not have a weapon at the time. They were very strong. And I did see that they were 2 black guys. And I could tell they were from a gang. They were wearing headbands and baggy clothes, the kind of things that gang members wear. And they gave me fake names. I don't want to identify what names they gave me.
You can call one Mr. X, the other one Mr. Y.
X and Y, okay. And so I just followed along what they said. They beat me pretty good. They knocked me out. All I remember is waking up at their apartment, and there were two girls there, and both of them. And every time I tried to escape, one of the guys, who was about as skinny as I was, but much stronger, just as most guys are stronger as us women, he locked me in a room that had a broken door off the hinges. And every time I tried to escape, he'd beat me more. And I had many bruises on me. I want to say about 15, 20 bruises on my face, all over my body. And somehow, I don't know how, when I was knocked out, they drugged me. And this guy who beat me many times, and the girls and the other guys saw him beat me, because I remember being half awake and seeing the other people around me, saw him beat me, and then he took me into a room saying, "This is my girlfriend." He took me into a room, and he decided he was going to rape me, and I remember screaming no. I remember trying to defend myself, but I was so much weaker because I was not sober, and I did not do drugs, and I was not drinking, doing drugs, or anything at that day, and he took advantage of me, and I didn't know what to do. And I tried to escape at least 5 or 6 times and got caught each time. Then finally, they were all knocked out. I don't know what they were on. If they were doing drugs, they probably were. Or if they were just knocked out.
What were they saying to you when they were beating you? Like, how many days were you locked in this apartment?
Oh, it was only one day. It wasn't even 24 hours, I want to say, because it was from the moment I got kidnapped to about 3 or 4 in the morning.
Were they going to hold you for ransom, or do you have any idea what their
I
intentions
have no
were?
idea what. All I know is when I was able to get out of that room, because he was so knocked out and so was everybody else, he left the door open off of the hinges. So I woke up and I found my purse next to the bed. My money and my wallet was in there, but my phone wasn't, because he knew that I would have called my parents. But before I found my shit, they both held a gun to my head and said, "You need to call your parents and tell them you're with a friend." So I did that, and I called my parents, said, "I'm with a friend, I may spend the night." And back to the point of where I was escaping, I found my stuff, and I looked for my phone in the kitchen, and looked for it other places as well, but I found my phone in the kitchen amongst a bunch of knives and about 3 or 4 guns. And I jacked my phone, tried to turn it on, and it was out of battery, of course. And there were about 6 locks on the door.
And where were these people sleeping at? Also,
There were about 3 people in the living room.
the 2 girls.
The 2 girls and 1 guy. The bigger guy was in the living room with the 2 girls.
We'll call the bigger guy X, and then
Okay.
Y is the one that raped you.
Yes, Y is the one that raped me.
And Y was not in the room anymore, or
Y was not in the room. I escaped from the room that he locked me into.
and Y was still in that room then.
Y was still in that room. He was passed out.
So he violate you, and then after that, everybody just fell asleep. And what were the girls saying when they were just watching this?
They were just laughing. They thought everybody thought it was funny.
So the girls didn't say anything like, these 2 guys came from all, brought home a random chick, was beating her, and these girls were just laughing.
Yeah, everybody was just laughing. They thought it was funny.
What age
It
range
seemed
were these
like
people?
it seemed like that this was normal to them. They were probably around the same age as me, probably a little older. I want to say max 27, maybe 30, but I don't even think they look like they were 30. But you never know by somebody just looking at them saying, "Oh, you're 27." People look like they're 27, but they could be 35, whatever. So there were 6 locks on the door. I quietly unlocked them, but sometimes when I would unlock a lock, somebody would move in the living room, And I would just stand there and hold my breath and pray that no one would move and no one would wake up and catch me. Finally unlocked all 6 locks.
And prior to this actual escape, you said you tried escaping 5 other times. How were you trying to escape? Like, was it when you weren't looking, or were you just running? Or?
I was trying to escape out of the room, but the door was closed off of the hinges. So I would try to. Let me tell you, this is probably when I was about 100 pounds, 110 pounds, lifting a door that is probably a lot heavier than me. That is not even on the hinges.
You're like what? About my height, like 5 feet, right?
I'm about 5 feet. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm not even over 5 feet. Not much.
So 100 pounds, 5 feet. 2 grown men are beating you, senseless. They just took you from a parking lot and started beating you.
Yeah.
And then after beating you, like, how many hours did they beat you before Y took you into that room?
Oh my gosh, how many hours? God, I want to say about 2, 3 max.
Did you ask them, why are you doing this to me? I mean, did they say anything to you?
I didn't even have the chance to ask. I was too scared to even ask. I was just praying to God that I don't get killed. I was just praying that I get a chance to see my family again. And that was just all that was going through my head.
They didn't say anything to you?
They probably did, but, you know, it's that chance where you're just like, you're so scared that you don't even listen. You're just so like, as long as I live for the next day, then I don't even care. These guys are crazy, and I just want to live. I have no chance of escaping. I was surprised that I even escaped. And when I did get out of those 6 locks and didn't wake anybody, I booked it. I have sports asthma, and I've never run that far without having an asthma attack. I ran so far. I ran about 6 blocks. And I ran to a gas station, booked it to a payphone.
What time of night is this?
It was about 3 or 4 in the morning.
Okay.
And I called collect. I called my parents, woke them up, and I said I am in so much trouble. Gave them an address, and I told them I need help. You need to come and get me now. And like, we thought you were at a friend's house. I'm like, I was not. I will tell you the story when I get home. I don't trust payphones. I don't trust any kind of phone, even a cell phone, like to tell that kind of private information. You don't know what's going on. Just, that's my paranoia. But I'm just like, I need help. I need you guys to come and get me. My dad came and got me, and I said, take me home. I don't want to talk about it because, as I said, my dad says brain damage, hearing problems, back problems. I just said, take me home. I'll tell Mom what's happened, and when you're in the room, I'll tell you. And I told my mom the story. I didn't take a shower because I knew that, you know, you don't take showers when you're in that kind of situation.
Because you need
and
to collect,
my dad was very angry. He blamed it on me. But that's, of course, his brain damage. My mom was very upset, just as I was. And somebody from my church came over and prayed with me and helped me call the cops because I was very scared, just as any person would be.
No, I understand.
And
then you question too.
Yeah, and two cops came over to my house. And
what city are you? Can we say, or do you want to say?
I was living near Sun Valley.
Okay.
And so they came over to my house and they questioned me. I answered all their questions just like I'm answering all your questions. And they saw a hickey on my neck. And their story was, you have a hickey on your neck, so it's voluntary and we don't buy your stories. They went through my phone. They see text messages to my friends. And supposedly the guys got through my phone, sending my friend text messages saying, I'm at your house. Don't tell my mom that I'm at your house, blah, blah, blah. Just, if she calls you, say you're safe. And I'm okay, I'm spending the night at your house and stuff like that. They saw those text messages. They said you're making up stories.
So the cops didn't even bother nobody examined you? They didn't even take you to the hospital?
Oh, they saw the bruises, but they thought, maybe I had fallen, maybe somebody else had beaten me or something.
How bad were your bruises so that way we have an understanding?
I'm dark-skinned, so they were pretty visible. My mom even saw,
black eyes, or like, you know, just like
I had good bruises on my face, not eyes, and legs and stomach. My mom said even to the cops, those are not like her skin color. Those are bruises. And she's like, that's messed up. They said she has a hickey. That's voluntary, and that's how they take sexual abuse, people, you know. For women, they don't take this realistically. I've had many friends go through this kind of stuff, and they don't take it realistically.
That's why we're reading this story.
This is life, and it's messed up.
Because I'm actually going to send a copy of this to Jerry Brown, so that way he can change the laws with rape. You know,
and it's messed up.
Yeah.
And I want to say, oh gosh, when I was about a month pregnant, I was in denial.
So let's back up. So you go through you call the cops.
Yes.
And the cops will even take you to the hospital.
No.
And what was your mom like? Did your mom still take you to the hospital, or did you like?
No, because they said we're not going to take it to the hospital. They told me, we're not going to take this anywhere. We're not even going to go to the guy's house, which I could have pointed out in 10 seconds. And, they said there's no point, even if you get a rape kit test, which they will not give you a rape kit test unless police authorize it. So I could have gone to the hospital, but they would not have given me a rape kit test.
Do you think, I mean, I hate to say this, but do you think it would have been treated differently if you were a different race other than African American?
I don't think so.
No, I'm talking about with the cops. As far as the rape kit's concerned. It's just towards women?
It's just towards women. Yes, it's just towards all women. They don't care.
It just amazes me that they won't even do a rape kit.
They think we're all full of it.
And so you go through that, you're going through the trauma. When did you start suspecting that you may have been impregnated from?
Oh gosh, when I kept missing my period, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. I can't be pregnant because of this. I didn't want to be pregnant.
Because the whole point of the rape kit, you would have gotten giving the morning after pill.
Right,
and they would have tested you for STDs.
Nobody wants to be pregnant because of rape. And I'm not saying I'm not happy because I have a child, because, oh my gosh, am I ever so happy. I found out within a month and a half, 2 months, that I was pregnant, and I was still in denial. And when they told me I was pregnant, I had twins, and I had already lost one. And I was still contemplating the fact that I was actually pregnant. But at the same time, my heart had broken. That the fact that I had lost one of my children.
So you were pregnant with twins,
mm-hmm.
and inside you was a live twin. And what happened to your other child?
I had already lost it. They said, "Did you have a short period?" I'm like, come to think of it, yeah, I did. So
I didn't even know that could happen. I thought that.
Yeah. My child either took over it, or my body just could not take the fact that I was going to hold 2 children.
So, what was going through your mind? Like, did you consider aborting?
I would never consider abortion because
I'm pro-life, or is it just because
I'm pro-life and I'm against abortion? My thought was that if it looks anything like I don't even like calling my father. I call him a sperm donor. Because he's not a father at all. If it looks anything like the sperm donor.
Or why?
Yeah, I would give it up for adoption. My daughter looks exactly like me, but even when I had my child, and even to think that it would look like the sperm donor, I don't know if I'd be able to give my child up, because being pregnant about 9.5 months, I was 9 days late. I don't know if I'd be able to give my child up, because I fell so in love when I was pregnant that it's so hard to think.
Yo, explain that to us too, because that's where like after I was raped, and I finally there's just, problems in my health, and I was just like, okay,
Right.
like, I gotta deal with it. Deal with the doctor. I told the doctor straight out, like, if I'm pregnant, I'm not keeping it.
Right.
There's no way. I'm just, and I'm pro-choice because of that.
Right.
And I'm a mother. I love children. It's just, there's no way I could bring a child into this world from my rapist. There's no fucking way. I would die first.
I had to pray and pray and pray. And I knew I was not going to kill this child because it's not the child's fault. And it's not my fault either. I mean, I'm not saying it's my fault. But the more and more I went through the months of pregnancy, and I'm not saying it was good 9 months. I was sick the whole 9 months because my body never got used to not having twins. I was sick the whole 9 months. The more and more I fell in love with that child, just hearing the heartbeat and the kicks and stuff,
And how was your family? Were they supportive? Were they surprised? Or what did they say when you
A
said...
lot of my family was. Some of my family was sending me abortion papers, saying go after the father, get his dirt money. And I'm all like, you know what? He's not a father. He's a sperm donor. I don't want his dirt money because he is dirt.
And every time you would see him, it would be reminding you of what
Yeah,
he did
and I
to
don't
you.
want him near my... Well, my fear was, even not what he did to me, but if I was to keep that child... My fear was, what is he going to do to my kid?
And then the police
If he is willing to hurt me, how is he not going to be willing to hurt my child?
And you didn't know these people.
I didn't know these people at all.
I've
never seen them in my life.
They followed you from the mall, followed you, took you from the parking lot, dragged you into the an apartment,
Yeah,
and beat you. And after they beat you, one of them dragged you into... Did both of them, or was it just one that
one of them,
you?
the other one like twisted my arm because he was a lot stronger, but the other one really beat me.
So why the one that violated you was the one that beat you? And you don't remember what he was saying to you.
I don't remember what he was saying. I know he was enjoying it. I knew he really enjoyed himself. I know he was having the time of his life. He was enjoying it, and pardon the fact that I'm even saying this, I didn't even know he actually came in me. He was still hard, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get pregnant. Not that I even thought about that, but I'm just like, okay, he's still hard, so I'm gonna be probably safe and stuff. Thank God, But yeah, I got pregnant, and thank the Lord, my child looks like me. But even if it doesn't, I'd probably keep the kid, and maybe the fact that I lost a kid, maybe that's the child that looked like him, and, maybe I'll see that child afterlife in heaven or something,
And, like, you're going through the whole pregnancy.
Yeah.
And are you ever going to tell your child how she was produced, or is it just one of those things that you're just going to leave alone?
No, when those questions come, because every now and then my child does ask, Daddy, I don't think my child knows exactly what they're saying, but I know the fact when my child gets older, there are going to be the questions of, where's my daddy, and who's my daddy, and when my child is old enough, I'm more than willing to say, Mommy made this choice. That the fact that I did not go after your father, I tried. And there is nobody by the initials of what Y said to me. And I have looked for that person on the internet, and over 1,000 people came by the name of what Y gave me. And my child can look for that person if they want to, and that's my child's choice, but my child will not find that person.
But the thing is that even to look for him, it's not a regular type of deal. It's not even like a one-night stand or an ex-boyfriend. It's
the fact that
it's the violation.
It's the fact that since I'm adopted, I understand where my child is going to come from, and why you want to know where and who you come from. If my child wants to go there, and if my child wants to be mad at me, I'm going to be a little hurt. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I am going to be hurt. But I want my child to be able to go there if my child wants to.
And your baby is about, 4 years old now, or so. So,
yeah.
like, how do you deal with that? Are you okay, baby? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
And then, sure, okay. We're good on the recording. So, how do you deal with the day-to-day? I mean...
I love it. I mean, I don't think about why all day to day. Sometimes when it was at the beginning, I would have flashbacks a lot. But now that I live day to day, I don't think about him. I don't. My daughter looks like me, and I'm so blessed. I love her to death. She's my life, and I know that. I mean, the guy I'm dating now, he wouldn't hurt me for the life of me. He is like a daddy to my daughter, and...
How does he feel? Does he know the story?
He knows the story, and he protects me. And it made him mad when I told him, of course, just like it would anybody.
Yeah.
But he loved me still, no matter what. He loves my daughter just like if it's his own child. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to leave him, and I hope that it goes further with him, and that hopefully in the future we get married or whatever. But, I don't want to live in fear of the fact that that guy is going to find me, because he's not. And if he does, then I'll get a restraining order against him. But he has no idea where I live, and that the fact that I'm even alive and that I even have a kid.
And he's probably, do you think he's done this to other people?
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt.
And the police could have arrested him that night. They didn't.
Yeah, they could have.
How many victims do you think he has done this to?
Well, all of his friends acted like this was totally normal, so I'd say he's extremely... He's extremely experienced at this. I wouldn't even be able to pick a number if they were acting like that was so normal, especially those girls, when he was beating me in front of them.
What drugs they were on?
I have no idea.
And you were drugged.
The doctors took my blood. They did take my blood. And they said that I had drugs in my system.
What drugs were in your system?
They didn't give me exact answer. They did say, we found some sort of drugs, but we don't know what it was. And I'm like, I don't take drugs. I didn't drink that night. I didn't take drugs intentionally that night. And they said, well, we found drugs in your system. I only take prescription drugs that I was prescribed, and they found more than that in my system.
Do you mind disclosing what prescription drugs you do?
Oh gosh, I couldn't name. I don't know exactly what I was taking at that time. I take a lot of prescription drugs. Since I was 6, I've taken a lot of different kind of prescription drugs because I've had epilepsy, asthma, stuff like that. I've had a lot of different health issues.
Okay, so you have...
Yeah, I couldn't exactly name what.
But it wasn't like something like Oxycontin or anything like that.
Oh, no. Okay. It wasn't anything, serious.
It wasn't anything that could get you out of your right frame of mind.
No, it wasn't anything like that. It was like a normal prescription that would help a health problem.
And during your time where you were gone and you were drugged, you really don't... Is it bits and pieces that you remember? There are times where...
It's bits and pieces, and the parts that I told you, I clearly remember.
Yeah. And then...
and I'm sure more happened, but I don't remember those parts.
Yeah.
As far as the abuse goes, I don't remember clearly how and what he did. I just remember going home and waking up more clearly with a lot of bruises on my body.
I'm so sorry to you.
It hurts to know that, women go through this and stuff happens to them, and the police and the authorities don't do anything about it. They blame it on us.
Yeah, and the commercials always go to the police, go to the police, go to the police. And
you do that, and they blame it on us, and they don't do anything about it.
But the good thing is that the statutory rape law is 7 years.
Yeah, and I have signed petitions and petitions.
And not only this, but this actual article is going to be sent to our governor.
Good.
This, it's election time, and...
Because I don't only want the law changed of what rape defines, but I want women, not only like me, but all the women who have been through what I have been through to get justice. Because I didn't get justice through what I've been through. But if somebody else goes through what I've been through, I want the guys to get arrested.
Not only that, but they need to be castrated.
I want them to get prosecuted and to understand that you hurt somebody and you can't just live your life on the street and get away with it and wait for your next victim.
And hurt another person. Or not only that, is the fact after. Like, the way the cops approach women is fucking wrong.
And I want the police to understand the next time, if this guy who got away with what he did to me, if he murders somebody else, they should clearly come up to me and say, we are so sorry we let him off the hook the first time and we didn't arrest him the first time because, you know what, that's totally messed up to let a guy off the hook.
It wasn't like a date thing. I mean,
it wasn't.
It was a complete
stranger. Because, I got out of there before he was going to slit my throat and kill me. But you know what? What about the next girl? What if he's already gotten away with something and you guys didn't catch... What if you guys didn't catch the person who he actually killed already?
And you told the cops that you actually did see guns and knives there.
Yeah,
and they didn't care.
Told them and they didn't care. They said, you have a hickey on your neck, so why are we going to believe you? It's voluntary. Okay, voluntary my fucking ass.
Okay, sweetheart. Thank you so much for your time. And this is Lucky Smith, and I'm signing off. This is for Start Over News Magazine. Thank you. Hi, this is May 19th. I'm Lucky Smith, and I'm here with Cassandra. And go ahead and give us the statement, because, we do have 35,000 readers worldwide that listens to us, so there's a good chance that there may be law enforcement that's going to read and listen to this article.
If the cops want to reopen my case, they can, as long as they understand that there is no way this guy is going to get near my child. I will not at all fight for custody. I'm not going to let him near my child.
I can't imagine you going
He can't go ahead and say that he's the father of my child, because he may be the sperm donor of my child, but he ain't going to get near my kid.
But you are willing to testify?
I'm willing to get his ass in jail and go ahead and say he did everything to me. But I don't want to let him know that. I'll say that he got me pregnant, but I don't want him near my kid.
Well, we're not going to do that, but I'm just saying if the cops do contact...
If they contact me, I'm going to be in court.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, this is Lucky Smith signing off. Thank you.